Just this morning, my kids were sitting at the breakfast table talking when our youngest, 4 years old, says to her two brothers, "Don't talk so loud, I have a headache." Her brother replies to her, "Well, for the next 7 hours, you can sit on the couch, you can lay around the house, you don't have to do anything." He says, "I wish I was as lucky as you are, but instead I have to go to school." I laughed at this, but it made me think about the topic of laziness when he said laying around the house not doing anything. And in fact, it made me think about a passage that I was reading just this morning from Luke chapter 19, where Jesus tells this parable of a king who goes away on a journey. But before he does, he calls 3 of his servants in and he gives them an investment. He gives each one of them a pound of money. He goes away on his trip and when he returns, he calls the 3 servants in. To the first one he turns to and he says, "You gave me 1 pound of money, here's 10-fold what you had given to me. I increased that investment that you made in me." He turns to the second one and he says, "King, you gave me 1 pound of money, here's 5 more pounds of money. I increased it by 5-fold what you had given to me." So he turns to the third one and he says, "King, you gave me 1 pound of money as an investment in me, but I was afraid. I knew that you were a hard man. I knew that you have very high standards, and I knew that you would hold me accountable. So I was afraid. I went and I buried that investment in the sand. Here's what you gave me. Here's what belongs to you." To this, the king was very upset with that third servant. He says, "Take that pound of money away from him. Give it to the one who has 10. He says this in Luke chapter 19, verse 26, "To those who use what they are given well, even more will be given. But to those who have done very little with what I have given to them, it will be taken away." So here's my question to you, friends. God has given each and every one of us an investment. He's poured into us, and what we do with that investment of His, it matters heavily to Him. So what are you doing with the investment that God has made in you? To the one who has been given much, much is expected. To the one who's been given much but does very little with it, it will be taken away and given to someone else. Consider that investment that God has made in you today, and consider how you are making much of that investment in the name of Jesus.